I've been trying to understand why we play on empty. And what I found to be really interesting is the way that we, of course, consume much more energy than we produce. And this is such a big problem because we are constantly living in output mode. And most people operate simply like a machine. We sleep for it's actually the opposite. 4 hours, and we have to spend 5 or 6 hours sleeping. Some cases we get 4 hours of sleep. When you sleep for just 4 hours for 6 consistent days, you develop so many health issues. This could be like developing prediabetes, because what happens is when you get 4 hours of sleep, the neurons that contribute to your flight or fight mode actually get enabled. This is the production of cortisol. And what too much cortisol does is that it, of course, raises stress, but the downside is it also builds a lot of plaque in your body, and this plaque gives you so much diseases like lung cancer, heart cancer, all these cancers that you don't want, and it's all preventable. And if you don't have enough time, one really simple thing that you could go ahead and do, other than drinking coffee and stuff like that, energy drinks, Monster, Red Bull, what you could do is a technique called non-sleep deep rest. And all you have to do is lay on a couch or a sofa and close your eyes for 20 minutes and just really focus on the eye movement, and then suddenly you'll feel much more rested. And just like that, in 20 minutes you would have more energy. Because we have to work for so long, 7 to 7, because we have to commute to work, which that's basically like 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and then we have to do the same thing at night. So it's basically 7 to 7, not a 9 to 5 if we include traffic, getting ready, all these things. And certainly burnout is just disguised as discipline. And the problem with this is that we call it grind, but we're all putting on just a nice outfit, because real discipline is all about knowing how to put all these things together. Sleep, taking care of your body, eating the right things, instead of synthetic ingredients just like Red 40, the flaming hot Cheetos, all these things that you consume. And what is really interesting is that, many people often are in front of a monitor. And because of this, what happens is that we actually are unbound. So this means we could literally hop on a Slack, Discord call, Microsoft Teams, and certainly we don't have any, we're not bound by any location. So certainly the clock doesn't really matter, and we work more hours than intended. Busyness is also just another form of laziness, because you could have a full schedule, but if you don't know how to contribute it to some type of agency, then you're kind of losing the battle. Deep work feels super impossible when you're stuck with 4 hours of sleep. And what I found to be really interesting is that all focus is just priming your vision to a particular section. And all this does is make you so much aware to just a little bit of what you want to see. And that's all focus is. But you can't go ahead and do that with 4 hours of sleep. Why is this the case? Because you're constantly slipping in and out of consciousness. So every time you go ahead and focus, you're always like dozing off. I can't sleep. I can't sleep, but I also can't go to sleep because I'm at work. When you're in this stage, you feel really tired, but you also can't fall asleep because of the adenosine and the caffeine. So it's almost like you have this really contrasting interplay between these stimulants. So when you have 4 hours or 5 hours, maybe 3 hours if you're really feeling it. But what's interesting is that the frequency of your microsleeps and the distance in between consciousness and unconsciousness when you're doing a task is so much prevalent than what that is with a normal person who had 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So that is why you probably want to get 8 hours of sleep so that you would fully be present of what you're doing instead of just slipping in and out of consciousness every 30 seconds. When you're in this state of mind, you're very irritable. And that means that because you're very irritable, you need that dopamine right away. And when you're in this state, you'll find that your whole day is going to be filled with you doom scrolling. You're much more prevalent doom scrolling. And when you go ahead and sleep, all those symptoms all go away because the root cause was energy production and energy transfer. And all right, you know what? We all heard this a million times. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. We learned this in high school, maybe middle school, and that is the root cause. So go ahead, get the right ingredients, because red 40, riboflavin, seed oils all do devastating damage to your body because it's unnecessary and it's also unneeded, and it causes so much stress and illnesses that we all don't need, period. Let's say, for instance, I really wanted to go ahead and learn Blender or some type of really cool AI applications that I really wanted to go ahead and mess around with AI. So you could go ahead and do that. So what happens when you go ahead and sleep past your sleep window is that your melatonin production actually goes ahead and gets reduced, and that means that your body can't really go ahead and restore and heal itself as optimally as what it did prior or during that optimal sleep window. And that is how you go ahead and have more symptoms, more oxidative stress, because all those things all contribute to chronic illnesses. And if you just treat your body like it's not a machine, like by removing stimulants, sleeping, noticing when to take a break, eating raw unprocessed foods instead of synthetic foods like Doritos, all this stuff. But yeah, that's basically all you have to do. And yeah, too much stress is bad, and basically that's it.